job up in Perry, Oklahoma. This is a small church on the east side of Perry. What we're going to do is dig down beside the basement wall because they have a water problem. I'm not actually going to do the work on the they're going to put in some, I think they're going to waterproof the wall and do some other things like that. But I'm not doing any of that. All I got to do is make access for the people to get in there to work. So that's what I'm up to today. And yeah, this is a tight spot for a backhoe. And yeah, there's probably other ways it could be done. But this is how we're going to do it today. Probably get over a little closer. But what I'm going to do is just dig this out down to the bottom. And from what I understand, the basement wall's not that deep, probably 4.5 foot, maybe 5. So not super deep. I'm going to keep one outrigger up so I can get a little closer to the wall. Actually, I'm going to flip the pad over. That gives me just a little bit more clearance. I'm not going to be able to dig the whole wall out from the side like this, so we'll dig what we can. Try not to damage any of the rock on the wall there. But after we get this done, they're going to come in here and fill this in so that it's not so low. Because the way it is now, this when they get a big rain, it just kind of pulls up. And they did an addition in here at one point, and from what I understand, when they did the addition, they think they cut off the they cut off the old French drain that used to drain this area. So and I don't know why they didn't waterproof. Well, maybe they did. What they got down there, that's like there's something down there. That's actually concrete. I didn't count on that being there. Anyway, we'll see what we got there. I don't know what that is. Like a piece of a sidewalk or something, maybe. Well, we found something unusual. There's a concrete slab under the dirt, and nobody knew that was there. Like a sidewalk or something. Sure why they would have poured a piece of concrete like that in there. But it's pretty big. We might have to cut that. We might have to saw it and drag it out of there. I don't know. unusual. You never know what you're getting into when you get into these jobs. I bid this pretty cheap. And that would be why we had a problem. But it's a church and I'm not going to overcharge them. Beside it right there. So it's like they had a slab they poured in the corner. I don't know why. Nobody knew it was there. That little piece there is moving. See nothing under it. Kind of weird. So I guess what we can do is lift on it a little bit and see if it's movable. Yeah, I'd say it is. There's no rebar in it. It does seem like there's a big void underneath it. I'm trying to get a hold of it to pull it out of the corner. That dirt has settled big time underneath there. Kind of an interesting little find there, I guess. That piece there seems pretty solid. also seems like it's covering something up there. I have no idea why someone would have built something like this in there. Was left over, they just poured a concrete slab out off the top of it, and they probably thought they were doing them some good. I don't really think they did them any good. I'm gonna go ahead and get the concrete out of here. Somehow.
I see it's not attached to the wall.
It won't move.
Well,
It's hard. I'll try a little bit more, but it's pretty solid. I don't know what it is.
I guess just get around it and go on.
Okay, I'm gonna pull that concrete out of here. Have a mess if we leave that under the dirt. Got two pretty large chunks, a couple of smaller ones. I'd like to not break them. I'm just gonna haul it out of here like this, I think. If I can hold it up without stabilizers. Want to put it over there, or get it away from the entrance anyway. What I say about a B95, they're balanced pretty darn good for a backhoe. I mean, this is kind of unusual that you can pick up a piece of concrete that big with stabilizers up and drive around with it. Nothing in the front bucket. I don't have a 4-in-1 bucket. So it's just the way they weighted them. They balanced them pretty good. So we'll slip back in here and grab this other one. It's a little smaller. Actually, we might grab two of them. Stabilizers are up. I don't know if I can do this or not, but I'm gonna try it. Maybe. There we go. It's a piece of cake. even turn the seat around. Just reach around the back. Make them a neat little pile here. This is where if I had a dump truck, they'd be saying, "Hey, can you haul that off?" I'd be like, "No, I really don't want to." Oh well. That's the perk of not having a dump truck. I think the rest of this stuff can stay in place pretty much. But we're going to dig a little wider on that. Open that up a little bigger. I am going to have a lot more dirt come out of here than what I thought. Well, I don't know why that camera quit like that, but anyway. We're going to back in here and dig some more out, I guess. But what they had found was a big mess of concrete that they'd poured in that corner. I guess the contractor decided that, hey, this is a good way to fix this so it doesn't leak water. But it didn't fix it. It didn't keep it from leaking, and they ended up having to bust it out. So, but anyway, we just got to dig the chunks out of here and get rid of them, and then we can finish digging out the rest of the dirt. But basically, I just made them a little ramp to get down in here. I don't know what machine they brought out, probably a small excavator with a hammer or a skid steer with a hammer. I don't know what they had, but I don't even really see any tracks. They might have ended up using jackhammer by hand, I don't know. But I did all I could to try to pry that out of there, break it out with a backhoe, and I couldn't do it, so that's what they ended up having to do. So, right down in there, that's the bottom of the mess. Like I say, we'll have to get this concrete chunks out of the dirt. They're gonna use this dirt to backfill, I guess. I don't know what they said. Like I say, I'm not doing any of the work on sealing this up or anything like that. I just came up to help them dig it out. All I wanted of it. And they had a plan, so they know what they're doing, I think. Pretty sure they do. So, we swung sledgehammer on it for a while and that didn't do nothing. It just made us tired. So sometimes you need equipment. It's hard to beat a hydraulic hammer, even a small one on a mini X or Bobcat skid steer. They will really they'll move concrete pretty quick. So. But I think there's a hole right there. You can see in that corner, and it looked like when we dug it out, it looked like there had been water running right around that corner and right into the building and behind the basement wall. And I think they've had an issue with this ever since they've had this work done. Anyway, the rest of this corner is going to be kind of a mess to dig out. We're going to have to dig it from the side. We can get it done though, I think. There's one load. miss. Worry a lot about the smaller chunks. I think there's enough. There's still a bunch of chunks in this stuff, so it'll be all right. About got a bucket full there. About tipped me over. What I'm doing here, I kind of dug out the top part, and I had to turn around and use the front end loader to move some of the dirt out of here because we're going to have way too much stacked in place. There's, you know, you can't have the dirt right up against the edge of the hole. It ain't safe. I'm also digging a bench down there, a couple feet down. Right in this area, I'm gonna probably end up having to slope a lot of this, but what I did is just kind of dug out down about 3-4 foot, and then I'm just kind of coming back and cleaning up the bottom and shaping it a little bit. So it's a bit of a process. You dig a little, you move a little dirt, you dig a little more, you move a little dirt. It's not a big deal, I'll do it every day. Anyway, I don't know that an excavator could have got in here and dug it a whole lot easier. The only thing with the excavator is you can spin the dirt around behind you, but then what do you do with the pile of dirt unless you're putting it in a dump truck? I mean, that'd be probably the ideal way would be an excavator and dump truck. Y'all do it your way, I'll do it mine. That rock stuff on there, they're gonna have to probably hit that with a hammer. Some of it's falling off, but it's like they put a asphalt base behind those rocks somehow. I don't know what that stuff is, but it's kind of a decorative coating, and a lot of it has fell off. And there used to be some windows in this. They've done away with the windows, so they plugged those holes up. Anyway, I knew this wouldn't be a comfortable, fun, enjoyable dig, but you know, you gotta do the work sometimes that you don't like. I don't think I'll have to do any shoveling. That's yet to be seen. There might be a little bit in this corner. We have to poke around with the shovel a little bit, but I'm going to try my best to keep the shovel on the rack. Like I say, I'm not even coming back to backfill. They're going to backfill it themselves, they say. And sometimes the best part of the job is when you can just go do the digging part and go home. You're done. Then it's somebody else's problem. But old church buildings, you know, a lot of them were done back before there were building codes. Almost all of them had basements under them. But the thing with them was, you know, they didn't have the product to seal the basements like they do now. They just basically dug a hole and they poured concrete in it. So there's a lot of them that's got issues. A lot of older church buildings. And a lot of them are just about impossible to fix. Right. The best way to fix them, I think, is to kind of do what they're doing here. The only thing I would add would be I would put another French drain back in here and figure out a way to get it out to daylight. And they've got the ability to do it, but you'd have to dig a 6 foot deep ditch all the way around this building and out the front, or you could use, some of these guys up here work for Ditch Witch, and Ditch Witch has the trenchless technology to bore right under the building and right into, you know, wherever you want it. They're pretty accurate with them. They call them a directional bore, and they can do those. When they do a directional bore, they can bore about wherever they want to do it. I think they discussed that, but I don't know that they want to do that. I don't know. But a lot of times, if they've got guys that work for the company, they can get a piece of test equipment, or they'll send out a crew that's doing testing and say, hey, here's a nice practical application for doing this. So, kind of neat. I used to think I wanted to do that type of work and get a boring machine and that kind of stuff, but you gotta have a pretty good crew. It takes a lot of good training. You're always, that kind of work, you're almost always working on a highway or boring under a road or something, so I don't know. I'll stick with the backhoe. I kind of like doing this work. Anyway, we got that. I'm going to move this pile of dirt. It's kind of piling up on my outrigger. I don't like to keep my outriggers under dirt. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do, but whenever I'm raising it up after I get it covered in dirt, I kind of do a little at a time to try to keep from packing dirt into the wiper seal. If you get dirt behind the wiper seal, then it takes out your main seals. Resealing cylinders is not my favorite pastime. Well, we about got this done. It's 9:23. Another, like I say, another hour, we'll be loaded on the truck probably. I really had intended for this job to take about 3 hours when I bid it. I was shooting to do it in 2. Not really wanting to do it in 2 trips, but I don't know if you can. Maybe. Anyway. Crossing the parking lot, so I'm trying to keep the loads pretty clean. I've dropped a few pieces, but church has really had a lot of water issues. I mean, the drainage out here is just terrible. Everything runs into this building and it runs back into this corner. I think they said at one time they actually concreted everything in this corner and figured out that didn't help anything, so they ended up busting all the concrete out. And what their plan is now is to put this sealer on the walls and then come in and do some sloping and get the grade where it'll drain out. So I think it might work, but like I say, sometimes these projects can be pretty hard to remedy because the problem with it is it was done 50 years ago or 60 or 100. Ideal situation for sure. Gotta keep it safe. Don't do stupid stuff. I've been fortunate in I've been running a backhoe for my dad. I ran one from the time I was about 20 years old until I was about 26, and that's when I bought my own. I've been on a backhoe off and on for over 30 years, and I've been fortunate to not have anybody hurt because of me, or because of digging a hole, or we've had some close calls. I did have a guy one time that walked into the backhoe boom and hit his head, but I'm not sure I can count that as an accident that I caused, but it sure hurt. Alright, I'll take you down here and we'll look at what we did. I'm going to leave this dirt a little bit high here, so maybe to keep water from running down in here. But anyway, we got it fairly easy to walk down. It's not super duper clean, but that's the bottom of the footing, is that part there. There's a little bit there. I think they can get that with a shovel. Anyway, not super clean. Didn't realize I left that in there. I should have went back and looked. But for what they're doing, I think it'll work. Anyway, that's this job's done.